Hey everyone, my name is Jake. I am 26 years old and I am from Brazil. 5 months ago, I could not speak a full sentence in English. Even a simple question like, "How are you?" and made me stop and think. Today, I want to tell you how I changed that. I learned English without expensive classes, without moving to an English speaking country, and without spending hours memorizing boring grammar rules. But this is not only my story. Maybe it is your story too. Maybe you understand English, but you are afraid to speak. Maybe you know many words, but you cannot make a sentence quickly. Maybe you have studied English for years, but you still feel stuck. I know that feeling because I was exactly the same. So let me take you back to the moment when everything changed. I always wanted to work for an international company. My dream was to become a software engineer at a big technology company. I loved coding, and I worked hard every day to improve my skills. After years of studying and working, I finally got my chance. I applied for a big company in the United States. Then one day, I received an email. "Congratulations, you have been selected for an interview." I was extremely excited. I imagined my future. I imagined a good job, a good salary, and working with talented people from around the world. Then the interview day arrived. I opened Zoom. There were three interviewers. They started speaking English, and suddenly everything changed. Their voices sounded very fast. I understood some words, but I could not understand the complete questions. Then they asked, "Jake, can you tell us a little about yourself and your experience in software development?" I knew the answer. I knew exactly what I wanted to say, but I could not say it. I became nervous. I said, yes, I am software. I do coding. Many projects." Then there was silence. I felt terrible. They asked me another question, but again, I could not answer properly. At the end, one interviewer said, "All right, Jake, thank you for your time." I knew what that meant. I had failed. The worst part was that I was not rejected because I was bad at software development. I was rejected because I could not communicate in English. That night, I understood something important. English was not just a school subject. For me, English was a key to my future. And I did not have that key, so I made a decision. I was going to learn English, and I was going to take it seriously. Before starting, I thought I needed to learn thousands of new words. But I soon realized something. I already knew hundreds of English words. My problem was not only vocabulary, my problem was using the words I already knew. So during my first 15 days, I focused on speaking. First, I created a list of 50 simple sentences that I needed in everyday life. For example, "Hi, how are you?" Can you repeat that? I don't understand. Can you speak more slowly? I am learning English. I need a coffee, please. Every morning, I read these sentences out loud. I did not read them once, I repeated them again and again. At first, it felt strange. My mouth felt slow. But after several days, the sentences became easier. Then I started speaking to myself. When I took a shower, I spoke English. I am taking a shower. The water is hot. I feel relaxed. When I made breakfast, I said, "I am making eggs. I like eggs. They are easy to cook." At first I felt silly, but nobody was listening. Nobody could judge me. My room became my private English classroom. I also started copying sentences from movies and real conversations. I listened to a sentence, then I repeated it. I tried to copy the pronunciation, speed, and emotion. After 15 days, something amazing happened. I started speaking some basic sentences without translating every word in my head. I felt more confident, but I knew I still had a long way to go. After 15 days, I wanted to have real conversations. So I created a simple method. I called it the question and answer method. The idea was simple. I asked myself a question in English. Then I answered immediately. For example, what did you do today? One day, I joined an online meeting with native English speakers. I was nervous. But this time, something was different. I was not translating every sentence in my head. I listened. I understood. And when it was my turn to speak, the words came out naturally. I answered questions. I explained my ideas. I even asked other people questions. People understood me. They listened to me. They asked me more questions. And in that moment, I realized how much I had changed. I was no longer the same person from that first interview. 5 months after I started my journey, I applied for my dream job again. This time, I was different. I entered the interview with confidence. The interviewer asked questions. I answered clearly. I explained my experience. I talked about my projects. I did not freeze. I did not feel lost. I simply communicated. A few days later, I received a phone call. Jake, congratulations, you got the job. For a few seconds, I could not believe it. The same kind of opportunity that I had lost before was now mine. I called my parents. Mom, Dad, I did it. My mother became emotional. My father simply said, "We always knew you could." That sentence meant everything to me. I realized that all those difficult days had been worth it. Every mistake, every late night, every moment when I wanted to quit. It was all worth it. So what did I learn from my journey? First, mindset is important. I stopped saying, "I am bad at English." Instead, I started saying, "I am improving every day." Second, surround yourself with English. Watch English videos. Listen to English podcasts. Read English articles. Change your phone language to English. Make English part of your daily life. Third, speak without fear. You will make mistakes. That is normal. Mistakes are part of learning. Fourth, listen and use shadowing. Do not only listen. Listen carefully and repeat. Copy the pronunciation and rhythm. Fifth, learn vocabulary and context. Do not only memorize single words, learn phrases and sentences. Sixth, practice grammar through real English. Notice how people speak and write. Then use those structures yourself. And finally, be consistent. You do not need to study for 10 hours every day, but you should do something in English every day. Even 10 minutes is better than nothing. Maybe today you feel like I felt 5 months ago. Maybe English feels difficult. Maybe you are afraid to speak. Maybe you think you are too slow. But remember this, you do not need to be perfect to start. You only need to start. Speak, listen, read, write, make mistakes, learn from them, and keep going. Imagine yourself 6 months from now. Imagine speaking English with confidence. Imagine understanding conversations without translating every word. Imagine opening doors that were previously closed to you. Your future English-speaking self is built by what you do today. So, do not wait. Start with one sentence, then another, and another. If I could change my English in 5 months through daily practice, you can improve too. Your journey to better English starts now. Keep practicing, keep believing in yourself, and never give up.